from the last meeting? No apologies, because you're all here.
Good start.
Not quite ready yet. We're going to the silly mood again.
Well, paper is not passport.
Linda, Tony Heapy sends his apologies. He rang me tonight on some of the business and he was hoping to be able to come and give you a flood report, and he's got hospital visits to make for relatives, so he sends apologies and hopes to put a written one in to you next week.
Is this flooding?
Just on behalf of the flood committee, yeah, there's been a lot of recent activity, I think, with staff's committee.
Not look like it. It's on the agenda. Do you want to drop it on the floor? Because that's what they do when they say included, doesn't it? You drop it on the floor and you just leave it. Probably was got Irish ancestry.
Do you want to start and I'll write until it kicks in?
Confident it will kick in. Do you want to take your pen?
I've got a pen.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. As you said, no apologies. All out. Very nice. I presume everybody's had a look at the minutes and there are no declarations of interest. Excellent. Yeah. Right. Public participation. I understand Mick's going to have a quick talk with us.
I'm going to pop on there, Dave.
Yeah, please.
There is a request to just interact a bit about a couple of the planning issues that are current at the moment. There is, after the formation of the action group, there is quite a large distribution list that people are quite active in. So any updates that we get from any quarter, we update to the distribution from NDAG. And that list is kind of just short of 200 people, so it's quite an active, large group. And they are not just pulling information from us, they're also starting to give information and ask questions. And some of the questions are around some of the planning applications that are open and coming to close as well. So really, on behalf of them, I'm trying to impart a bit of information that we've got. I'm sure a lot of it will be in your domain anyway, but also just get a brief update from yourselves as to the status of and your thinking on some of those applications that you can share with us, so we can just let them know. They're very keen to understand. So that's the reason for the request to speak. Would it be fair if I gave you a little bit of an update, because there's been a couple of meetings lately with regards to particularly the Jack Lane one. And so if I tell you what we've done recently and what information we've got, then I'd just love to understand what your way of standing is on those. Yeah. This week I met the new Crown Ward Councillor, Stephen Smith, met him last night about over an hour's meeting in the village, looking around certain areas. Just really trying to get his understanding. I think he's actually trying to get to the meeting later on tonight.
He said he might turn up, yeah.
He's hoping to be, he's got another meeting, hoping to be just after 9. On behalf of the action group, I was really keen to understand what his position is and support or not. And his thinking, and I'm sure he's going to share this with everyone, is that it needs a clear structural objection to be able to withstand this application for the houses on Jack's Lane. And then all of the other ancillaries around conservation area impingement, etc., the view and the aspect, he doesn't feel will be enough to repel the demand to build in general terms, not just on this side, but across the county. And he thought the one that was really most important to try and get to the bottom of and hang our hats on is the one around flooding, sewerage, and the general infrastructure of that, and the flood water. But linked to that, of course, the flooding that happens at the bottom of the village on Jack's Lane. So he agreed that if we can get a sound dispensation from the agencies involved, like Staff's Flood Committee, then he would fight our case at committee when it goes to committee. So it was as straightforward, and that's really all I could ask or expect. So that's great. So that meeting went really well, but we obviously need something sound to hang our hats on. So today I met Kim Wilson, who is our planning officer, for an update from her perspective. She's a busy lady working a couple of days a week part-time as a consultant, so I'm not sure how much attention this application's getting. But she's got a big family, she's very accommodating with the time and information. And so I went and dug in a little bit with regards to the flood situation, and she's had a response from David Hughes, who is although she was kind of treating it as just another tick box, when we really looked into it, and I've had views from Tony Deepy on this, we think it's kind of a fundamental statement regarding how much, or if any, building should take place in the village to that scale, based on the infrastructure that's here right now, until it's upgraded. I've got just a half dozen copies of this, so I don't know if you've got or seen this. It's in 2 pages, so Dave Hughes, I'm sure, again you all know, but Dave Hughes is the guy that Tony Heap has been working closely with for the last 4 years on the flooding and sewage issue. And so this is Dave Hughes' response to SBC when they've asked what is the state. And I thought I was kind of not taking it all on, misreading it, but Tony thinks it's quite a clear statement that the structure there is not capable of taking it. So if that's the case, that's a great document, but it's not the be all and end all. And again, I'm not going to preempt what Stephen Smith's done today with, because he met the planners this afternoon. And so I'm sure he'll have an update when he gets here, but I believe they have agreed that there will be another submission to the builders, to the agents of the builders, asking them for clarification what they're going to do with regards to issuing into the foul and surface water flood, into the foul and surface water drains.
Basing this on what number of houses?
16.
Yeah, 16, that's what you're basing it on.
And they've given really precise litre volumes, what they're going to issue from the site, and there's a contradiction in the application anyway that just don't match what they say and what Southern Trent and South Staffs have agreed to. It's like double or triple the amount they're going to issue against what they've actually said we'll accept. So that's a contradiction anyway, just in technical terms. It may be a realistic situation whereby it's fact or it could be an error. However, this document, as I read it, seems to position that it's not good for anything coming from 16 ounces over until they trickles or something.
We've got to add to that blacksmiths, which is, I believe, going to go into the...
well, that's another application, isn't
another
it?
application,
But
which is going, it's going back again.
What's
it's going
this?
back blacksmiths.
Right.
So you've not got 16, you've actually got 16 plus 7.
Oh,
Sure.
you might have. Yeah.
You might have. So the thing is that, and I don't think this is great.
Well, it
says what it says on the
does.
pen,
I mean,
doesn't it?
it's
So-
pretty well clear, I thought.
Plus the 2 that have already been constructed on the Catholic Church site, which aren't occupied yet.
Right.
There will be a third in sold.
Is there a third?
Due to be a third, yeah.
So it's a third.
Started building
Right,
that.
yes, it's right. But I understood from somebody the other day, gossip this is, saying that they weren't going to build a third house. So I don't, who knows?
I heard they weren't going to build it till they sold the other two.
Which I'm told yesterday.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I was told yesterday should be declared
Well,
to
well,
do.
It says on the internet that they've sold.
Yeah, well,
So we're on the right move anyway.
There's a Jenny Street there.
we believe that's the case.
And
So if you add on that on, you've got an even better case, haven't you?
it sure is, but I mean, we're just kind of, on this one alone, based on that letter, it's kind of useful at least, if not, sort of a game changer. The concerning thing about this is that this was kind of buried in a group of papers this morning, and it came out at the end of a question, but it didn't seem to, in their minds, have the same importance as we kind of think it has. Managed to get a copy of it, and so I'm concerned that there's something else like that, and responses from other agencies that perhaps aren't getting the same weight as well. But it's fair to say, and I did sort of show my thoughts, is that they are massively overloaded and understaffed, and it's tough for them.
Yes,
But I explained we've got a job to do from our end as well. Okay.
Would you want the parish council to write, drawing attention to this?
I'd love to.
Yeah,
I'd love to. That's again a good part of my lobbying tonight, and tribute to ask if that's appropriate, if it could be taken in as part of your submission.
But I'd agree with that because I've had discussions with the same people and others, including the councillors, and they're once explained that until 2019, when we're supposed to have 500,000, 450,000, if nothing should go down any more than what's already going down.
Is there anything you want to add, Andrew, in connection with the local plan?
Well, hopefully the great thing about this is it could stall the we have we install the application so that it means that we can actually get the neighbourhood plan in place, by the end of the year, and be firmly in place. Then we've got a much stronger weapon.
What Kim Wilson did say today with regards to that, Andrew, is I asked when she thinks it's likely to go to committee, will that be July's plan? And she said almost certainly not. In fact, she said no, because of the amount of detail she's waiting back from not only the agencies, she believes, but from the agent of the builder. Because based on the objections, she's asked them to respond to 30 additional points, of which some are quite complex and time-consuming. And she told me that even include hydraulic modelling. So that's not going to happen. I don't know. I didn't know whether it was hydraulic modelling. I couldn't get to the bottom of it. It was hydraulic modelling of their 16-house model or hydraulic modelling of the village.
Is this of the surface water runoff, or is this of the sewage?
Both. Well, it's both. Yeah. And so, and again, I couldn't get to the bottom of what that really meant. But Kim felt that she was asking for a hydraulic model of what I couldn't extract. Okay, so it was difficult to answer that one. But regardless of that, she was quite clear-cut that it won't go in July to committee. So that again helps the fact that it's a little bit closer to a Neighbourhood Plan and a local plan. Yeah.
So does that mean it's likely to be August?
She didn't say that. She hadn't got a view on when it would be because she couldn't get a view on when she'd get answers to all of her questions.
Right.
So I don't know, Andrew, really, on that one.
Did you get an impression from her that if we write now, the application isn't forwarded till August or anything, it'll be a waste of time? In the sense of not keeping it in the forefront. Bear in mind, I've already said there's loads and loads of work, and there's still going to be more coming in between now and assuming at August.
Well, I think right from the very beginning, when we had the first interaction with Kim Wilson and Anna, who is the planning
Assistant.
Anna is in charge.
Anna's in charge. Anna's in charge of
No, I meant because hasn't she replaced the two who left?
Kim.
Kim, yeah.
Kim's replaced.
No, it's Anne, I thought it.
No,
And
Anne's
another
always been
is
there.
the manager of the department. I'm not
Correct,
sure.
yes, that's not-
She manages the plans.
She does, yes.
And from the early times in this process when we met Kim and Anna at one meeting, all of them said that submissions can be made to them at any point, right up almost to committee meeting. They don't formally have to carry the same amount of weight to the submissions that were made before the cut-off date, but if they're relevant and important enough, they will take them on board. So I think the answer is it'd be great to get extra and additional to just keep raising the profile of the subject, especially from yourselves as a group, because you guys are carrying on the way, you know.
So we're really actually asking Staffordshire County Council for, or rather Mr Hughes, for yet another, as this is the 16th of March, it's pretty up to date.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I misunderstood the question. Did you mean, is it worth writing to planning or to David Hughes?
David Hughes, I meant, I don't know.
No,
Did you-
planning as well.
Planning, I think we're talking about planning. Right, it's
I
planning.
did. I
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah.
Planning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
already
David Hughes.
already confirmed
Subjects,
it.
yeah.
That's already
The
confirmed.
first one is to planning, and the answer is from me,
Yeah.
it'd be great if you could,
Yeah.
because it is raising the profile. But the parish council as a group wants another statement from David Hughes. If you've not had a clear one, then
No, I think that's clear enough.
Yeah,
What we have to say in the light of this
Yeah.
response.
yeah, I mean, I've got that as PDF as well, Linda, if you, I'll spare it over tomorrow morning. It's an attachment. Good. So that was, that's from
Okay, well, thank you very much for...
Yeah.
No, it's just part of the
taking
process.
on board.
The next stage, it's all sort of happening in 1 week. Come back from holiday and it's luckily all coming together in a week, because on Friday I've got another meeting with Andrew Griffiths, because he's now obviously newly in his restated position, and he's frankly made a lot of statements to us and commitments, but
He's looking to do with
it's really time to for him to step up
Lock
and
in.
do something, and I need him really. He's already written to the previous council leader, who was Labour, asking him to obviously monitor and oversee the planning process, but I think our group really need to get him to do that again for the new council leader, who's obviously now Conservative.
I thought he was under secretary to planning. So you think it's a greater point to know?
Well, that's news I can't find. I saw your email on that, Brian, but I can't find the information that he's got any role whatsoever in planning. Where did you find that?
That's from the leader of the council.
Right, well, that must be...
So I don't know. He wasn't joking. I said, when did this happen? He said, as of today. But that was
That's a
last
good
week.
role in planning then.
under Secretary of State, yeah. I mean, he's not the chief, but he's...
Okay, I mean...
If that is the case, and I assume that Richard wasn't joking, then, you know, that's the way it is.
Yeah, what's to tread carefully though, because he
Oh,
wants
yes,
to
we
go
do.
the way of Eric Pickles. Because
I don't think Pickles has got a job anymore. No, he's gone. He's gone.
which is a shame, because he was showing common sense to...
Yes, and they got a plans,
But
yeah.
anyway, I digress a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So on Friday we had Andrew up to get his commitment and some action points from him and see where he stands right now. And one of my questions to Stephen Smith was, how do the now Conservative council link in and operate with, for instance, with Andrew Griffiths? Does he have influence or contact or with the group or not? And there's no really clear answer.
Necessarily so.
Okay, well,
Okay,
so I
so-
appreciate what you...
So that's that one. So really, I'd just like to understand if there's been any change in the parish council actions that I can report back on this Jacks Lane application that we're kind of not already aware of.
What we will do, we hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we'll basically, when our meeting officially starts in a few minutes,
Okay.
we will discuss amongst ourselves and obviously give Linda a shout and the publish minutes
Perfect.
on what you
Okay.
say, yeah.
So that's great, understood. And the same really goes in a so I wondered if there's been any update that you're aware of on the solar farm phases, 2 different phases on off Green Lane. that's one that quite a lot of residents are keen to understand and come up to date with. So that's number 2.
Okay.
And there's a small one which has been seems to be going on for months, which is the infringement of planning at the top of Bag Lane, Hall Lane, where they built the wall, and it was objected to.
Yeah.
Allens Lane.
Allens Lane, Hall Lane. Yeah. Sorry. So, and folks would love to understand about that, and in particular the dog walkers and the local residents about when can they get the lamp post back, you know, that disappeared. So,
Dogs are missing it, aren't
They're lost.
It's a long walk to the next one.
so that's really, as you say, in the
Yeah,
general
well, I've got a
body
list
meeting.
of what you've got down here, so yeah, we'll certainly, those were topics that,
If there's nothing else that you want from me or a question from me, then I'll read.
has anybody got any?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay, pretty clear on where you stand.
Sure.
So thank you very much, you're more than welcome to stay.
Thank you.
Right. Nobody else talking? Oops. We'll get into our meeting. We've got 2 minutes to approve tonight. Our minutes of the meeting and the AGM, which hopefully you've all received something and
I'm happy to propose live.
Thank you.
Who was second?
I wasn't here, and I wasn't here.
Oh, I'll second it.
Give up.
Here we go.
Quick move.
Right, in that case, those are approved. So, yes, I will. Right, thank you for that then, and then if we move to the minutes of the meeting that we're going to discuss now.
Okay, still there.
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Right. Don't decide with that. Okay, we'll go on.
I need a proposal and a second for those ones.
Proposed. Second very much. Right, we'll start with planning.
Are you keeping them out?
Yes, I'll do that. You should have a little sheet of paper.
Actually, I'm thinking the new one, it's been updated, I was throwing them at me this morning.
I understand Linda's been away for most of last month, and it was a short month anyway. Right, start off with the demolition of the units 20 and 21, which is what we had a deputation from at the last meeting. And he's requested, well, here's the actual application. We're going to look at it, and he's wanted to already start knocking it down.
Our concern was there would be no increase in noise.
Yeah, and we've expressed that in a letter to them.
Should we expect any difference in water runoff? Is it just going to be left with a concrete pad and then build something else?
Because if you've...
They're the units they're going to be building the new units on.
Yeah,
They're replacing, aren't they?
yeah, he's knocking 2 old ones down to put a new one up and make a yard to,
Right.
in effect, park trailers and move JCBs about.
Right.
The word he used was repair, wasn't it? Not washing.
That was repair the trailers.
That's what I mean, not washing them, or I think.
No,
Right,
no,
yeah,
no,
no.
it was maintenance of these trailers as they come in and out. And that was it. So do we have any objection, or should we just say no comment?
I've got a comment or two.
Yeah, go for it.
The site and proposal separate from the village by several fields, but Silver Lane is not separated by several fields. There's not the noise aspect in there. They also say normal daytime working hours between 8 and 5 or 1700.
Is this, are you referring to the knocking down? That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one we're considering, isn't it?
Yeah. We're taking
Yeah.
down the 2 units.
They've
Yeah.
got daytime hours 8 till 5. But they don't say Monday to Friday.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
They don't say Monday to Friday.
I'm presuming it's not going to take them long to take them down.
2 weeks.
Weekend working will be avoided, so.
Well, so is there asbestos?
There is asbestos, but it's not the dangerous stuff. The other thing is they're doing the concrete crushing.
That makes some noise.
Same hours, same days, time-wise, Monday to Friday it should be. And also, are they doing anything about dust suppression?
Yeah.
Crushing concrete could soon drift over this way.
It says they're jamping it down, I believe,
Does it? I missed that then.
but there's no other reference to it now.
So we can make those 2 comments.
Yes.
Well, you comment on noise,
That
dust,
down as necessary.
noise, dust and weekday working.
Well, that's a bit vague, I agree, but it does say down.
It's a noisy process anyway, isn't it, crushing concrete? There's not much you can do dampening it, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, that dampens to the rest, I think.
The dust, so you can spray the dust, but the noise you can't.
Yeah, no, well, unless you put some screens.
Excuse me.
Well, it's only 2 weeks, why don't you just let them get on with it? 2 weeks is...
But we don't have 2 weeks a 7-day working week.
No.
But if people are suffering from dust and all the rest of it,
Yeah,
That's a different-
that's the dust is the chief thing.
why should they?
Yeah,
And
that's
also,
true.
it's got to be a 5-day week, you can't expect people's problems on a Saturday.
Why don't they just shove it out and take it away? I don't understand why they want to break it up there.
Because they'll use the hardcore for something else once it's crushed.
On site.
Recycling is cheaper than cost, isn't it?
That makes sense, yeah.
That's like they've done in New Toxicity on the old JCB side.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Aisles of
That's right.
No crunch.
hardcore.
If you take the waste off the site, you incur the,
Well, feed,
yes, you recycle on.
has to go somewhere, as they say.
Right, okay.
That's all
So-
right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no, that's fine, I'll
I'll
put those
probably
in.
make
Yeah.
that. Right, the next one is a retention of a skateboard ramp to Allens Croft.
12.
Sorry, 12.
Are there some objections to this?
There is, yes, we have an email from Susan and Mark Chislett about it.
Would you like me to? That's the application. It's,
It isn't an application.
It's currently there, it's there.
It's a
It's already
retention
built.
basin.
but it's higher than, too high, so you therefore need planning.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's already built, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
I've got a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's partly built.
Yeah, no, it's built, finished.
It's finished as far as I know.
It's actually finished.
I wouldn't want that next to me, I have to admit.
So what's the, is the objection about the noise, or is it about the height?
Well, I'll read the letter. In response to your notification of the above retrospective planning application, please take our comments into your consideration when making a decision. In the covering letter to the applicant, written on behalf of the householder, Mr. Jonathan Imber makes a number of statements. Mr. Imber says that the application site lies within predominantly residential area. The area is entirely residential, and until this development commenced last year had been extremely quiet. We are not sure why the letter also states that the works to the property contributed to the character of the surroundings, or what relevance this has to the application for a skateboard ramp. The previous application to extend and make changes to the property is separate and irrelevant to this application. Mr. Imbrie also refers to SAVE Policy H6 of the East Staffordshire Local Plan. This document states that within existing settlements with development boundaries, permission will not be granted for development which harms the settling of the buildings or the overall street scene, for which has an adverse effect on adjacent properties by virtue of size of dwelling, intrusion on privacy, loss of daylight, bulk noise, loss of amenity space and vegetation, and intensification of traffic. We believe that the presence of a skateboard ramp designed for multiple setting is a relatively small garden will have an adverse effect on our home, create noise and will be a loss of our amenity space. Our rear garden will become seriously affected by this facility. The website of the manufacturer, Urban Ramps, seems to only make reference to parish councils and local authorities, thus suggesting that their installations are designed for a more open setting, such as parks rather than domestic gardens. In the letter, all the references regarding positioning the skateboard ramp in the garden are only made in connection to the properties to the north of the garden, but ours is to the south, with only a fence between our gardens, as illustrated on the photograph. This will provide little protection from our home and garden from the installation. I'll show you the pictures, that's what she's referring to, it's just a little fence.
Oh, I see, that's from her house.
Yeah. Mr. Imber admits that the proposed ramp could lead to very slight increase in noise. How has this been assessed to the state in a document in support of the retrospective planning application? There was very little noise prior to this installation, but unless this has been previously recorded, it would be hard to qualify any change. This would appear to be an arbitrary judgment. The letter goes on to infer that if the retrospective planning application were to be refused, the skateboard ramp would be reinstalled but sunk into the ground to come below the height restriction. Is this a threat trying to encourage the approval of the application that would happen if it were to be refused? Lastly, we consider this proposal would discriminately affect the amenities enjoyed by the neighbouring dwellings and accordingly does not accord or say policy H6 of the East Staffordshire Local Plan. We seek your support to refusal this retrospective application. Yours sincerely, Mark and Susan Tislett.
When they skate,
That's the picture of it.
what type of wheels they use? They're rubber wheels, they don't make much noise, or they metal wheels?
I'm guessing, but I think they are, but the big one wouldn't.
Oh, that's really hard plastic.
I don't know, I'm just asking them to be.
Depends on the amount.
I haven't done it myself, I confess.
You can't do a triple twiddle then? Dear me.
But how many, the other things, how many children they got and how many, well, we talked about noise, what time scale are they expecting per day? In other words, are they expecting minutes per day, is it going to be hours per day, is it going to be all weekend? Or is there any
Any time.
That would depend on whether they're at school or not, presumably.
Or how many
Yes,
friends
but
they've
then
got.
looking
How
from a
many
reasonable,
friends?
looking from a reasonable point of view, is next door neighbour. I mean, one wants to help one's next door neighbour, one can, and it's just a question of where the cut-off is.
I would not
And have
regard
they
that
spoken-
as
have they-
a item to having a garden.
Yeah, and have they spoken to each other behind the scenes?
But what he's saying is that he's applying for retrospective planning permission because the safety area is slightly higher. And what he's getting at is that if we refuse it, all he has to do is just sink it into the ground and it's there anyway.
If it was sunk into the ground, I suspect that the noise level would be reduced, looking at that picture.
I don't know, because you've still got the wheels running all around. So whether it's sort of like a
Yeah, but they're not in
surface
free,
area or
not in free air, like that.
Why do they want it high out? What difference is it? Not skateboard.
It's just the height of the business.
It's the height of the ramp that you...
The safety fence around the top and that's...
But if they put it in the ground, surely they've still got the same height.
You have,
Yes.
but it's going to be partly muffled by, not only partly, by the ground around it.
The other thing to consider is we've only had one letter of objection and that is in a square, so there are 3 houses.
Well,
around.
we don't know that there aren't other letters of objections
Well,
that,
sent to us.
that only one sent to us, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would suspect that other neighbours have.
Similar
Are
attitude.
they in speaking terms with each other? Is it just a formality to...
Unless of course the other friend's going to use it, skateboard.
Well, yeah, I think, to be honest, there is a noise factor. So I think in the application by Mr. Imber, he suggests that there may be a special board which is a lower noise factor. Having had experience, I have offices in Lichfield, and there's a ramp which comes down from Tesco's, and these kids used to get onto these ramps and come down at quite a speed. Not to be on a public footpath, it was dangerous, but it was a noise that drove you nuts. You got your windows open on a summer's day, and the noise was
But I mean, to be
but
fair,
that was
we don't know what that's actually made of or what.
No.
It's
as
we
says,
don't actually, it was
metal sides,
It was told you.
But the wheels that the skateboard are going to be on
I think the best thing to do under those circumstances, then, in all honesty, is to have a demonstration. That settles it then.
It's there now, is it?
It's there.
It's already, but that doesn't, because just for the day of the demonstration, it could be super quiet, but really quiet. That doesn't mean anything.
No.
That's right. It suggests that it would be smooth running service and lower than normal. But until I've got, live and let live. Next door to me, I've got a trampoline, I've got 2 swings, and a thing that swings back and forth and a ball around the horse. But the kids, they get fed up with it. They come out, they swing on it, or play with the trampoline for about half an hour, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And this man has obviously got a lot more money than I would have suspected, because that's about 15,000 quid's worth, as we do know, don't we? So he's got a lot of money, and he's put it up without any. I don't know Mrs. Tudor, although she was a parish clerk. And I think she's got a reasonable reason. You don't expect to have a commercial unit in your back garden, which that is.
I agree, certainly support the objection.
I think if it contravenes the height restrictions, then, I think you've got a case. If you're going on noise, of kids playing in the garden, I think that's
true.
That's difficult to... You can have an opinion either way, can't you?
There'd be a lot more noise than normal children playing, wouldn't there?
Yeah,
people that go to school.
I think it's different from kids playing on a couple of friends playing on a trampoline with
But we don't actually know whether it's going to be one child playing on it,
exactly.
or whether it's 500.
If you had 10 kids coming around on a regular basis, you might get a bit fed up.
But it's not so much the noise of the children, it's the noise of the actual...
That's what I'm talking about, it's the noise created by the... And that's the whole reason why we want one in the park. Perhaps we can make an offer to him that we take it off his hands and put it in the park.
So what are we saying if we go around the table that we're objecting to based on the noise, or...?
Well, I think he's a bit silly, this man, in a sense, because what he's not is actually chatted to his neighbours.
We don't actually know that he hasn't.
No, that's true.
And we don't know that, irrespective of what he said, that the Chislets are objecting.
I believe that he has not spoken with the Chislets about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
he may have spoken with other neighbours, I don't know.
Height and noise, I would think.
Yeah, but I can't see why he lowers it. We've still got the same distance to travel. I can't see why it makes any difference. Down there or
But
up
what
there.
they're saying is that's too high. So what he's saying...
Yeah, but if you lower the whole thing,
Yeah,
the whole
that's
lot
what he's
goes
saying.
in. It's got exactly the same motion.
Yeah, at the moment, kids can look over the hedge, can't they? So
Yeah,
if you want to
but
do
it
it
is
sunbathing and you've got 2 kids giggling at you,
Yes.
there's certainly people like me, I'm sure.
So I mean, if we object, he'll lower it, and it's still going to be there, isn't it? In the nutshell.
Yeah.
And that's what Susan's saying, is that just a threat? Or
on the grounds of potential noise and also the height.
I don't honestly think we can object to the noise, as we said. If we don't know if it's going to be one child or a lot of children.
3 kids, I think. 3 children.
So I think it's difficult to say on noise, because it might only one of the 3.
How old are the children? How old are they?
Early teens.
Well, they've been doing it about 2 years.
Have you not seen the kids in Burton-on-Trent? They're not kids, they're 20-year-olds.
So they covered in plan.
But if you buy one of these machines and you talk to them, they are noisy when the kids are on it.
So it's there anyway. So basically what we're saying is it's there anyway, so they're allowed to have it. It's just a question now we'll talk about its height and noise. I think they should lower it, so I think cut the noise.
So it is nothing putting you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. Well, yeah, I can see the thing about the height and looking over the hedge. So I don't know whether you can actually say about the noise.
About the health and safety of it, I don't know, do you zoom off it or something?
They're covered by their own.
I mean, to be honest, I wish I was that size of my garden. If you had a skateboard, I would have a big one. So,
Is it a heat or is it a family or what? I mean, is it a father who's done this? Or?
Maybe we're at fault here for not building one.
Have we built one down the park?
Exactly.
That's just move it. Might remove it.
I
suggestion.
think object on the height grounds, because that is quite high in comparison to the nearby
Yeah,
hedge.
yeah,
And,
exactly.
you know, with that photo and everything for Mr and Mrs Chist's garden, so I think that's a legitimate objection.
Just one point on the height. You mentioned, Brian, that next door you've got you say trampoline. Don't trampolines have that bit of netting around? Is that an opposite higher than that? Why not trampolines?
I think the point I was making was that if you have...
trampoline, you only get up to that height when you...
No, but they have like a netting thing.
Maybe
So
they have
people
a
falling
That's
off.
only to stop you falling off.
Yeah, but
So
still,
floating
that's only to stop you falling off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
they stop at the top.
but you can't crawl up the netting, can you?
Whereas
So it's going to stop you falling
the
out.
trampoline, you're in the air for a second and then you drop.
Yeah, but now the only point I was making,
Yeah.
I was trying to be half and half, because what I was trying to say was that children have a right to play in the garden. That's the reason. And I was making the point that, you know, my next door neighbours have a trampoline and they have a swing and they have all these swing ball things. But they don't play with them very long. You know, they only half
So
an hour.
in that point then, are you saying let sleeping dogs lie and leave it?
No,
Other than
what I'm
that-
saying is that he's erected something without permission, when he should have apparently
Yes.
requested it. So he's ignored planning and he's ignored the wishes of his next door neighbour by building it so high. So I would say he needs to lower it.
But if you were putting in a planning application, I think both height and noise would be considerations.
Well, noise is, it just, as you pointed out, how many children are going to use this? I mean, are they all going to find sudden friends?
Like kids do.
Kids do, and say, come
I
round
don't
and give
think you can
us-
object to the noise factor because we generally don't know how many people are going to play on it. And
No,
it's
it makes
not
it like a swimming pool,
24/7.
isn't it? I mean, if you build
Yeah,
a swimming
exactly,
pool,
yeah, it's not 24/7.
No.
Assuming not, there's no lights on it. And it won't be in the rain.
Well, I'm just wondering about that.
Yeah, I'm guessing. So if we're saying, you know, everybody have a say, are we objecting because of the height? Or
I think that's the only thing you can.
I think what I'm saying is I'm objecting to that on a height basis, and that if they do want to rebuild it in such the same way, in the same place, then...
So what if we suggested that we object because of the height and would prefer them to sink it in the ground and thereby reducing any possible noise level?
Well, I won't have it to affect it. It will
Well, I don't
stop
know.
people. I mean, if you stand on that and you're presumably, you said they were 15, I think, or 13, did you say?
At that age, that's all.
So they're quite a lot, they're at least 5.5 feet tall, I would have thought, so they can see straight over that hedge on the other side and presumably over the other way as well. So it's the height thing, yeah. I would object to it on height.
Consensus?
I agree, but I think also your idea of suggesting we take it from here, buy it and put it into the park.
But no, I don't think he's bought it for his own garden, hasn't he?
Yeah, but if
But
he
he's
doesn't
fed up
like
with
it,
maybe
maybe accept that. But he does like
Maybe when he's fed up with it, we can offer.
Yeah.
He's only just bought it. So he's not going to sell it to
I
us.
think just move to this.
The only thing you could put a clause in there to say reasonable use.
No, well,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't do
yeah.
that.
It's like shadows and things like that, you can't.
What's reasonable use to your neighbours playing ball and whatever? You can't do that. It's a kid.
I keep on getting their football as well, but I don't mind.
Right, so can we have a consensus? We're
I'm glad
objecting
you've said that.
on the height,
Yeah.
If he sets it into the ground, can he help find other measures to reduce the any
No, do we
possible?
have to tell how far to sink it?
No.
What does that mean?
No.
Just
Just
an
an
intention.
intention.
Yeah.
Just where it as low as it needs to
Yeah,
avoid
to,
planning.
yeah. See, to avoid planning, which is what
Yeah.
will happen.
Because it is a portable building, in a way. Okay, anyway, yeah, I'm objecting on the basis of height.
Right, thank you very much.
What happens to the administration? Who writes the tenant?
No, the council.
Sorry?
We have our objections go to the council.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
That's
next
the council council, no, it goes to
Yes,
the...
please.
Sorry. Yeah. Right, erection of the first
Their
floor
comments,
site.
sorry, their comments, not objections.
Yes, I know.
Church Farmhouse, Hodge Lane, Marchington Woodlands. This is a nice picture. This is something that we said. What I'd say about this is that everything that he's done to the house appears to be pleasant.
Is this the gentleman who came in last meeting?
No.
That's a different one.
No.
This is opposite the church.
Is this the black and white?
Right.
Oh,
No, it's the one, it's on the other side to the road to the church.
It's dead opposite, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about it? You're in the
It's a
woodlands,
bit
so maybe you're...
isn't it?
Well, basically, it's the same format as everything else.
So it's not going to stick out there.
It's not going to stick out. We've already got the ground floor in there. All we're doing is a couple of other sides.
So it's in keeping.
It's in keeping with everything else. That's the proposed, and the existing is that minus that.
Okay. He has, to be fair to him, he put in many applications, and every time he's always done.
I wonder about that, because there's that much gone on there.
Yeah, he has, but every time he's done that, he has done what he said he would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no object.
No comment.
No comment. The listed building consent for retention of a wooden burning stove flue pipe and removal of internal partitions. That's
Which is that?
the one on the
Your old house.
Your old property.
You remember you lived there?
Well, the garage, am I?
Yeah, it's your old house, it's around it.
and it's just there's some pictures here that might help you about the internal partitions. Again, I would say that that's a picture of the flue as it currently is. Nobody's objected to it currently, so I don't see how we can object to it again. And regarding the internal partitions, they seem to want to move such a small distance and make a toilet smaller and a bedroom bigger that I'm guessing that the listed building people have no objection. We can't, or if they have any objection, we should back whatever they say. But, it's obviously going to be internal, so that won't visually affect
Is that
anybody.
why you need planning? Because it's a listed building?
It's not a listed building, it's within proximity of a listed building.
It's the house.
It's the house
Yeah.
that's listed.
So it's if it's in the curtain to a listed building, then it needs listed building consent. I lived opposite that for 6 months and I never noticed the
I don't know if
That's a good testimony. No comment there. Yeah.
No comment then.
Yeah, finally, a conversion extension of existing detached stable building from workshop, store and garage for a motorhome, Fieldhouse Cottage, Birch Cross.
You haven't got this one because this came in this morning, so it's not on your
Is
list.
that John's?
It's big.
We'll see.
That's what it's
The one next, you know where John Snow lives?
Yes.
It's the one next to,
Oh, yes, yes.
going towards the Toxicity, the next house.
Oh,
The one before the one with the
big
wooden shadow.
Yeah.
That one, the guy that got dumped on the marijuana. No.
No, that's next door.
Yeah, that's the next door, yeah.
No, he didn't get dumped for it, he rented the place out.
He's in prison.
Thought you meant it was grand.
Well, this is the application, there's some pretty pictures.
And the objections.
That's the type of building that he wants to put up. But it, being as it's at the back, I don't think you're going to see it anyway.
No.
Always in the field.
I thought it said it could be seen from the road, but to be honest, you flash past it so quick, I don't know.
I think no, it's at the front, isn't it?
Is that-
It used to be a stable, isn't
It's
it?
in the front.
front.
Yeah, it's just off the.
It says so in the
Yes,
application.
yeah, just on the front
I'll
there.
flash by that quick and nobody's
It's frontage to the main road, yeah. But as I said, I think if you were driving past it, you would, you know.
I think it would be harsh when the building next door to them, not John Snow, the other side, that wooden thing built.
That's a lovely wooden building. What is it for, by the way? Does anyone know?
It's a garage.
Oh, is it garage? I thought I was thinking of living there.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet, yes, quite.
Yeah.
I know that was the thing that popped into my mind when I saw the size of this actually.
What pops into my mind is the windows appearing in the top.
It's a nice conversion, isn't it, for small annex? So,
But grand, do you think?
yeah.
That would need planning application again though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be,
On the surface, I don't see doing much to object about it.
Agree with that, Gordon? Or?
Not every local, I think, okay?
Yeah,
You
we-
can. Well,
You'll
it
come
will be
back.
if you park your car outside the gates, okay?
Right, so
No comment?
no comment, thank you. Right, so we move on to planning decisions. The approval for conversion of an agricultural building to form 3 dwellings, proposed residence at Oblane, Marchington Woodlands.
No, I found out about
Has
this
been
one.
refused, but we don't actually recall seeing it.
We didn't, because it's Abbots Bromley.
Ah.
So why they've sent us the decision, I don't know, because when I looked it up, it actually comes in Abbots Bromley. So we never had it.
Gosh, I thought this was about that.
Oblane.
Like hay, there was an application with
It must
hay
be
storage.
past Wilson's farm, down there somewhere.
Because it confused me, and I looked it up, and yeah. So why they've sent us the refusal notice when they didn't send us the application, I don't know.
So it's nothing to do with
But
Well,
it's-
yeah, it doesn't
it's
matter, it's
Abbots
refused
Bromley,
anyway.
Good.
So when you get barracked in the street, you say, "There's nothing to do with me." The formation of fields in Moisty Lane, Marchington have been permitted.
What's a manege?
It's a big field.
All
horses
area.
Horses and around.
You know, they buy,
Is it what, sorry?
It's
No,
not
no,
all
it's
city.
Horse, wood chickens on the floor and the horse goes round and round. You can see them.
well, you stand in the middle of the road for the whole
Training
Yeah.
horses.
Oh, I see.
Training horses, basically.
You don't know anything about horses, do you?
No,
Erection of a single story
That's just a manure. It doesn't make that long time to say manure.
Erection of a single story extension and 2-story rear extension at Woodland Cottage, Thorny Lane, Marchington Woodlands.
that was it.
That was
No,
the
we can't have
one.
it.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
That's the one,
yeah,
yeah, permitted.
that's the one.
Yeah. Erection of an existing agricultural building at Woodruff Park Farm, Moisty Lane has been permitted. Merely the solar farm. Right. The Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group. Has everybody had the report from that? Yeah. I mean, I can read it out if you want, but if you want. I won't bother.
Has everybody had the update as well?
The one you sent this week?
This week.
Yeah.
4th of June.
Yeah.
Is
It's not,
it
but it stayed within the
Cool.
committee at the moment, though, this isn't it?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
So I say,
yeah.
Mick, you know, it's one of those things that Mick Marrison had already.
No, he's on the.
He's on that
No,
one.
he's on the
Oh,
main.
he's on
I
it.
think you're on
Oh, you got that
the
anyway,
list,
did you?
yeah.
Ah, fair.
Aren't you? No?
From
No.
Clyde Keeble. I didn't see your name on there.
No, he's not, sorry, I apologise.
This was a report to the parish council.
Yeah.
Is that a public copy that I could have?
No, I don't. Oh, wait a minute. Is that, what are we talking
Is it in the public domain? Yes, really, that's what I'm asking.
Not as yet.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No,
No.
because it's,
I think else
he's reported back to us. He's reporting to us because we're paying him.
It's a progress report, really.
It doesn't really affect what you're on.
Do you want to just say a few words, Andrew, about the last steering group meeting?
Yes, really, it was strategy that you know, we discussing the best way to go forward, and the neighbourhood plan is moving forward, and we can't finalise the neighbourhood plan until after we've got the outcomes of the inspector's report on the local plan, because we don't actually know whether Marchington's going to actually have to find space for 20 houses, or 30 houses, or even 40 houses, you know, in the worst case, hopefully. So we've got to, we need to be getting our neighbourhood plan together to a stage that all we've got to do is actually focus, and after August, when we expect to have, mid-August, when we expect to have the final issue from the inspector of that, we can then finalise it, and then we can send it out to the residents for consultation. But other aspects of the Neighbourhood Plan, we were discussing that we need to have policy on renewable energy, wind farms, solar farms. This Neighbourhood Plan needs to be more than just housing development. It needs infrastructure, other things. So it's not something that we should just rush at. We need to be moving fast to be able to control what's being thrown at us. But it needs to be done thoroughly, and it needs to encompass. We want to make sure that we've encompassed everything that's going to affect us.
Are you comfortable the way things are going?
Yes,
getting support from the village?
Yes, indeed, yeah. Well, the 102 people who came along on that Saturday afternoon was a good sign.
Yeah, fair enough. Great. Thank you very much. So basically, things are moving.
Indeed.
I think Clive's very good, thank you. Keep
Excellent.
Well done.
He's away for 2 weeks, don't he?
Yes, he is.
He's away for 2 weeks. So.
Did you actually make a date for the next
No,
meeting?
that was, we agreed that we would come up with a date when you were back to fit in with you.
Oh, right.
But obviously it has to be after his 2-week holiday.
Okay, so I'll contact Clive.
And give us a series of dates to select from.
Has anybody got any questions on that? Yeah. Right. Finance. So what I'm about to read out is the money's in and money's out for the last month. In no particular order, there's Clive we've just been talking about, there's Neighbourhood Plan work, £616.20, and Clive for his local plan work, £932.40, of which we get a portion of that back anyway. Blooming Gardens for the grass mowing in May is £407.48. Eric Rowe for the internet is 130. BP Enterprises for the mowing of the cricket pitch, not cricket, it's the football pitch at Forest Side. It's a bit more than normal based on the fact that it appears that none of the residents mowed the football pitch, and while he was there, he charged us another 20 quid for mowing it. So it seemed silly to argue for that. The repairs for electrical services.
That's the socket for the defibrillator.
Oh yeah.
Have they done it yet?
Well, we've got a charge for it. That's in there.
Oh,
Has he done it?
I thought Richard was going to tell us. We will check.
it didn't appear to be last time I looked.
Yeah.
Beginning of the week.
Have you paid it yet? No. Well, don't pay it yet till we.
Don't sign anything, Gordon.
No.
Everything's signed,
It'll be withheld.
Yeah.
Don't pay yet until we establish whether it's actually done.
No, I'll have a look when we go home.
Okay.
So nobody types at this meeting.
No, that's only just for the heater, isn't it? It will work now.
Oh, it actually works then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's going to try?
Not me. For Genico for the hanging baskets, apparently we said we
Well done.
Yeah, £33.96. We requested, Henry requested a new streamer because he's one that the parish council owned broke. So Henry's been out and bought a new one, which is £299.
Approved by Mr Whitehead.
Wow.
It's a still, isn't it?
Can we borrow it?
For Henry's time, £204.06. For Linda's salary, £398. For Linda's expense, £78.40. For HM Revenue and Customs, £22.80. For Mr Wilkes, for the land registry for the cricket club, and for him to draw a plan up, is 177.25. And the village hall committee steering group for hiring of the village hall, £16. So total expenditure this month of £3,574.09. Please can I have a proposer and second? Thank you very much.
Did I come in to give you at the beginning of the year? How does this actually work?
It
Yeah.
comes in a preset.
You remember last time we talked about changing
I wasn't
the
here last time. Yeah.
people who were going to be signatories, as we had some taken off or something. We've got some new councillors. Who were the three that were being put on? Was it you? You were one?
Yeah.
I put the account number on, and who was
I
the
can't
other?
remember whether it's me or not.
They are there. Yeah.
That's to enable us to sign.
What I need you to do is, if you're already
You guarantee it.
banking with Royal Bank of Scotland, you are, no problem then, just drop the form into them.
Just fill it all in.
Fill it all and drop it in. There's a section that says you are already a customer of theirs. If you're not, you'll need to take it in with either your driving licence or your passport and your utility bill.
Right, okay.
So some form of identification. Okay. I'll also need you, please. Sorry?
Right.
The total sums at the bottom of that.
Can you sign there for me, please?
What am I signing for?
This is the change on the mandate. And pass it to Gordon.
What mandate is it?
The same,
The
the
man
changing
mandate.
the bank.
Changing their own signature.
But I can't be a signature.
You are a signature already.
Just send a check for
Not letting you do it.
How many signatures? There's two signatures of a check.
Well,
It's two
No.
per check.
yeah, two people have to sign, but the idea is if people aren't here,
Oh yes, no,
so
There are a number of people who
we
are
are able to sign it.
yeah.
Charles accountants don't like that very much. You can't nail anyone.
So, the ones that are going on, can you sign there, print there, and then just the three of you do it? So that's my bit that I have to take it.
So I do the first one, yeah?
You do the first one, yeah. And then if you pass it to the others, they'll get back to me. Eventually, won't it?
What's that?
Yeah.
Official position from committee member?
Council.
Council,
Councillor,
council,
committee member,
council.
whatever.
Right, moving on to the properties and grounds.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, just a point of order, and I'm sorry speaking anything. The questions I asked, could I just, for my clarification, are they discussed in any other business right at the end? Is that when I get the answers to those questions?
Yes, it will be, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Fine, thanks very much. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no. The Silver Lane playground report.
Yes, okay. Everything's in order, so comments at the bottom.
The swings too high.
No.
And the noisy. It's noisy.
There's supposed to be placed two councillors' names on there.
There's too many children in there.
They went in here, the fencing, they're not there.
They've pulled them off.
Pull them off, yes.
I didn't know there were any.
Well, it says, I noticed a sign where it said list of councillors, and there's just a top and a bottom.
I was down there on Sunday, and I spent most of the time I was down there picking up broken glass, because somebody had got a Cobra bottle and smashed it against one of the...
You did a good job, there was none there, right?
No, so, it shattered into tiny pieces as beer bottles do these days, and it went everywhere.
Yeah.
So we managed to get most of that off. But it also as well looked, we were talking about the matting.
Yes, I made that point there, yes.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's lifted it up as well, because it's all starting to curl at the edges, and some of it actually feels as if it's been lived
There
in.
are some risk factors there now, I think, yeah.
Mm.
When is it? When is it?
Actually, July, because what I was going to actually say about that is that we did get a price of several £1,000 to repair this matting, but because it hadn't been highlighted in the safety report, what I suggested was we leave it till the report, which is in July.
Yeah, I
And if
agree.
they highlight that that's an issue, then I think we should look at doing something rather than spending that sort of money where they might not do that.
How long's it been in?
Good. How long was the matting been in?
I think it's been in
Oh, how long has it been? 10 years?
You say 5, he says 10.
I don't know, I didn't think
Look
it
down
was
the
as long
I
as
don't
that.
think so. I say Biffa donated the money. 2008.
Because it seems as if the matters
It
are...
seems not. All the sides are moved out, yeah. I mean, we might deem it as not safe, but my point was that they are health and safety
They're
experts.
qualified.
They're the word.
They're
qualified. And if they say it's okay, it seems insane
It's
for
not
us.
actually secured to the underside at all.
No,
It's not secured. I
no.
just wonder what the original spec was. It's not being secured, it's just being dropped
Just
on
that's the
that
weight.
side.
Well, if you look
And
at
it's cool.
that
It's like
roundabout
cucumber
thing,
sandwiches now.
Yeah.
but that roundabout thing is the new, what they do. They don't have that soft floor anymore. It's like a triangular matting that they
Yeah.
just put soil in and leave it at that. I understand, because if you have soft matting, you deem there is a risk. So it may be that if it's deemed not suitable, that we may take it all out and start again. But hang on, I'm jumping before we can. Well, let's see what they say.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that was the last decision, actually.
Yeah.
I think stick with that.
And so that answers your comments there.
Can I just say, I was down for May, so it was after the
Yeah.
last meeting, so
Yes.
we've probably almost got a bit of duplication. There was a top missing off one of the benches, I presume Amy's repairing that. Is it
He's in the
new post?
process,
Yeah.
yes, he's put the post in and he's had difficulty finding someone to actually cut the wood to the shape that he wanted.
Oh,
But,
right. Yeah, so that answers
he's
that.
working on that.
We didn't ever do anything about the main gate, did we? It drags on the ground. The gate's out.
He's lifted it so it doesn't now.
Right, okay.
But it's the gate that's bent. That's
Yeah, it
the
is,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
fine.
it's not like it.
I made the same comment.
I think I'll ask the question before. The three-quarter size football pitch, Ian might know, the nets are pretty tatty. Are they ours or are they?
They're not actually, they were put up by Chris Poynton, another chap who lives in Newtoxton. They were just donated from the football.
Right.
So they're
It's
not-
still effective, aren't they?
Well, yeah.
But you're right, they are, but the kids swing on them, you see, so that's why
Yeah.
they're tatty, isn't it?
Are we still working on? Do we need new ones?
Should we ban kicks?
Chicken and egg, isn't it? I think if you get them, then you're going to get... I mean, yes, they probably would need replacing at some stage. Then I wouldn't say they're a health hazard or anything like a health and safety risk, but they're not really good goalkeeping nets, no. But small.
They catch a ball though, and they...
Yeah.
I mean, if
But
they're
they're-
expensive,
I don't know what the price of these things are.
but what I'm getting
But they're not ours anyway, they weren't,
No.
were never ours to replace. So it's
On the
not-
posts and posts are out, are
The posts.
Again, they were put up by Chris
Oh.
Poynton.
There you
I
go.
think.
Knowledge, history.
But who's maintaining them now then?
There isn't any maintenance, I would suspect. It's not a football club stuff, really.
It's not.
Not that I know of. I mean, I can find out for you, but I don't think it is. There certainly wouldn't be anybody definitely with that on their agenda to do locally.
Right.
Actually, does anyone, I haven't seen any soul playing there.
You do?
So they
The
play
kids,
that
little
little
kids,
ones,
the kids, yeah.
Shouldn't we
Just have to
consider
come off to the skate park.
replacing the nets and making
Well, that was my point.
Say
That's where I
down.
was coming from, yeah.
Presumably behind the net search.
Yeah, what I was getting at is should we replace the nets? It might not be our responsibility, but should we replace them if it gives the kids greater
Kids do
pleasure?
use it, so
Yeah.
it would look better, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it because they were hanging down?
Yeah, if they were secure to the ground, yes.
If they fall back, I think they might.
I think existing nets pulled back, be okay for something.
They've got quite a few breaks in there.
Have they, right?
Oh, right.
Could we say how much they were? Because I seem to recall somewhere down the line we had a load of nails or pegs or something that we bought to fix the nets. And I'm sure we actually bought the nets.
Really?
No, we
No, the
paid for
police.
the forest side.
Was it the forest? Perhaps we
It was the police that paid for that, wasn't
Mark's still got
Is there a
those.
safety hazard at all, which we could be liable for?
Could we see how
I don't know
much
the
the
size
nets
of it.
are?
Yeah, I suppose we
Yeah, if
could, yeah.
we can see how
Do you want
much.
to research that? Because you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Paul, is there a safety hazard at all, looking at it from our point of view?
Not that I'm aware
Oh,
of.
we're covered because of the insurance anyway.
Yes, it
That was
does,
on
okay.
the...
Yeah, but if it is a safety issue, we should do something about it.
Oh, we'll find out in
It's not
July.
safe, no.
Yeah, we'll find out in July when they go and have a look. Definitely.
The only other thing was, well, it was something somebody drew my attention to. By the tree stump, which is by the bench that should be fair, the tree stump that's rotted out, there seems to be a big concrete slab or a panel appeared. And I thought, oh, I'll move it, but it was heavy, so I didn't know that.
I thought it was your skateboard.
That was it.
Was that junior model?
But it's,
When you say appeared, do you mean as in somebody's dumped it there, or it's coming up out of the ground?
no, it's been dropped there, but it's...
Well, I don't know by who. I mean, it's a long way to. It's not on the way to anywhere, is it? With the
Well, I
sidewalk?
wondered whether it was part of that garage that's up by the hedge, but it's not. So, I don't know where it's come from, but there's a bit of reinforcing steel sticking out, so it's really nice getting rid of it. It's not too quick to lift it up really.
Where are you going to put it?
Well, you can put it in the
Filter beds.
leads.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good idea, yes. Then nobody goes there, then.
In the.
But I'm not
Filter
volunteering
beds.
to move it,
Filter
so...
bed.
Oh, the back.
The sewage.
If anybody's volunteering, then it'll be too heavy for Henry, so...
Shall I do that? I'll walk the dogs anymore with other people, so.
Yeah, well, I'll look through
I'll
it.
come down and move
But if I move it to behind the trees, behind the.
Where
You
all
talk, you
that
call
goes,
that a filter bed?
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
were, yeah. It
Yeah,
was an old sewage thing.
yeah, it should be right if you use
Probably wanted to put the skate park.
Yeah, because you don't walk through it, do you?
No, nobody walks through that.
Thank you. Right. Green Lane. Deep.
Yeah, no, we haven't done forest side.
I'm sorry. Forest side.
And this is
I thought I was...
forest side, and it's Darren's report.
Oh, is it? I thought it
I
was...
don't know what you used, Darren, it took you
Oh, good
ages
idea,
to...
I'll bring the hard copy next time.
No, I did it. Can you read it?
The hard copies are easy.
It's my glasses. Yeah. So basically it's the fence, the one panel needs securing. Is that the one by the houses?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's still
Some
the one
trellising across, it's not the same as the other trellising, but there's trellising there, it just wants the one side of the panel securing it, so.
Has anybody
Has anybody bought
moved
it?
in? do you
Yeah,
know?
'cause it-
But,
Does it look occupied?
yes, looks occupied through the windows, anyway.
Was it rented? It was for sale.
Unless it's
It
from
was
previous
for sale.
people, I mean, you can't miss it.
Yes, it was for sale, yes.
Yeah. So maybe if somebody's moved in, maybe they'll
Hopefully.
Or,
yeah,
so that will just go down with a piece of wood and just
bang their fence.
bang it on.
Oh, then we take responsibility, we can't do that.
And the grass, well, blooming gardens will be going round to cut that. The grass needs cutting in the goal mouth, yeah. Goal mouths, and this is the main football pitch.
Good evening.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, it just needs,
I don't know whether you do any renovation works on gardeners or not.
we don't do the football.
I don't know how much they pay on it or what.
Do we do renovations? Well, we
The
haven't up to now.
No, okay.
But if it gets too bad, then we will have to.
Yeah, it's only
do
about 15 square feet.
Well, if we monitor it,
Yeah.
and if it gets too bad, then obviously we'll have to. It's, what you're saying is you need to put soil in.
No, just need to loosen it up and do a bit of reseeding.
Oh, it's grass, is that what you said? Oh, right, okay.
I presume they'll do that. Parents that use it anyway, but
Yeah.
well, if we monitor it. see what they say when you go around to the health and safety. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, Green Lane.
Green Lane.
Did anybody go to the solar panel
Yes.
talk? And?
Well, the way he was talking, that the planning permission was being put in for the second one.
Yeah.
We haven't got it, have we?
No.
No.
The second one, so the first one is the one over by, on the edge of the...
Phase 2, as he was calling it, is the one behind the turkey farm.
Right.
And then phase 3, that he was sort of, well, we don't know if we're going to do it yet. Will be, I think, the problem one is the one over the, we looked at a few months ago, where the footpath runs through. That's the footpath that comes back to the back of the church, runs through. And it is over to the, it's well, there's enough mature trees and we plant a few conifers so it wouldn't be visible from the village, but I think it will be. Personally, I thought that the one behind the turkey farm wouldn't really cause a problem, but the third one would definitely.
Is the access actually damaged?
Yeah. Well, they were at that present time. They said they were negotiating with the turkey farm, but they would come through the turkey farm drive from the prison road to access it rather than going down Green Lane. The phase 3 one will be accessed from Green Lane, which is the problem. But he was sort of, saying we don't know if we're going to do that one yet. If we're going to pursue it.
But the difference in the phase 3 one is that that's arable land. It's not pork pasture. It's arable land, isn't it? It's a different kettle of fish, as well as its proximity, where it is to proximity to the church, and the surroundings. But yeah,
Was he just sounding people out, do you think?
Well,
seriously.
To be honest with you, I think we've had enough, haven't we?
Isn't it? Well, our position in the last meeting was that with 2 was it, and we should object to anything after that.
They've actually been approaching farms as well.
One of his, it was saying that the reason why we're getting so many applications is because this, the electric wires that run through the Dove Valley are underused, that's the right way of saying it. There are a lot of areas where the cabling won't withstand looking solar parks too, so that's why we're getting targeted for them.
But they're currently operating the substation, aren't they, down Station Road, to cater for the Moisty Lane solar farm. So presumably there's some spare capacity in there, and this is what these other guys are wanting to latch into. I'm guessing.
Just Stephen?
Good evening. May I introduce myself as Stephen Smith?
Yeah.
Just on the solar farm, I have a meeting on Thursday morning with Roy Amner to just have a walk over, but I have had an email of him. He does say that please note that following the consultation event, we are not intending to take forward the Green Lane side. However, we do intend to progress the sites next to the prison and the turkey farm, so that might just lead to clarity. I have spoken with planning. It's too late for me to be able to ask for it to be taken, these to be taken to the planning committee. It's out of time. So that's all I have to say on this issue.
So is the inference from that they're not progressing them at the present time, or
the other two they are, but
the third one down Green Lane was the inference that they're keeping that in the back pocket for or were they ruling it out?
Just looking at the words, they're not intending to take it forward. I think with the discussions from the consultation event that they felt that it wasn't in their interest to do it. But I'll know more after Thursday.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, so it was worthwhile going to... Yeah, excellent. Good. Village Hall, Andrew? Any comment on the Village Hall?
The Village Hall, yeah, okay. The Village Hall, we have had, the Village Hall has recently had an electrical inspection, and there's some uprating that needs doing, which is going to be done very shortly to make sure that all the electrics can comply with current legislation. Obviously it's an old building, etc. The two, obviously the outer door and the inner door have been replaced. The next project on the list is to refurbish the floor in there to make it look a lot better and make dancing easier and less slippery, etc. So that is the next thing that is planned. And thirdly, the hanging baskets that have been purchased, of course, they are being taken to the prison, Dovegate, and the prisoners are going to fill them, and when we've got those back, then we will still mount them on the front of the shop.
Yeah, we'll come to this in a minute, but are the prisoners bringing them back?
Not to my knowledge. No. So hopefully they will
The
be
hanging
more
basket will go up tomorrow, don't it?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Too
you know,
late
we
now,
are
aren't
getting near to the end of the Best Kept Village competition, aren't we? Don't worry.
It's because there's no hanging basket in the bush on the ground.
That's right.
There's no pressure on you.
But we've all got the wind, and then we had the frost, and so on and so on. All frost tonight, by the way, just in case you got the best.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you. Anybody got any questions? No? Good. Right, the highways, neighbourhood highway team.
No, I haven't got anything. I emailed the lady today to see if they'd been in the village, because obviously I haven't seen them, not being here, so I don't know, has anybody seen
I
them?
saw them, yeah.
Oh, so they have been in the
doing
village.
something. I think they were doing around the electrical on Jack's Lane, you know, at Woodlands Drive, where there's some unit there. They were fiddling around doing the paperwork.
They're going to fill in potholes up Moist today. Quite moist today, quite a number of potholes up there.
They've done.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
So that's still in there. What about Green Lane? I think we have discussed this in the
It's not going to be, it's not a simple solution. If nobody's taking ownership of it to do, the minute you start repairing it, you
The
take
problem
it.
is there's not enough use of it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
They do, but at our request, they do essential repairs occasionally, don't they?
Yes, the neighbourhood highway teams have done some work in Green Lane. But anyway, the lady that I normally get the update from was out of the office, so...
Basically, it's only back to a cart track, isn't it? It's going back to 19th century.
Well, it's a bit more than that.
Not for cycling down. We don't send grandchildren down there on bicycles. It's too much gravel.
Take it you're all aware of the road closure on Sunday?
Yes.
How are you going to get out of the woodlands?
I did, yes, we're way on top of that. Because we're going to be locked in the woodlands, Linda has an answer.
It's a 50-mile detour.
For those that aren't aware, if you look at the map, the woodlands is certainly cut off because you can't get out. Exactly, correct, exactly, yeah.
They're doing the running and the swimming.
So the
I
answer,
do
the answer to the
apologise for
question.
my map, it got caught in my letterbox. No, but if you look at where Paul lives, and he's put a little dot there, if you go up to the blue line, then there will be a manned crossing on that blue line, so Paul will be able to get over that.
Is that the crossroads?
The crossroads.
Towards you,
Concord Cottage, is it? Concord
Yeah.
Cottage? Wood,
yes,
Woodfield
yes,
Farm,
concrete tree there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that road that you...
It says to become a toll road for the...
They will hold you up until
That's
there's a
right.
gap.
Yes.
You're taking part 2,500.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So
happened to me in Stafford.
Yeah, you see that you can actually...
And sat there for a quarter of an hour to get a gap.
I should stay at home for the day, Paul.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you'll be able to go up to it and then they'll tell you, it'll be marshalled, so you'll be able to tell you when you can go across. Selected junctions, yes. Unfortunately, those of you that live in the village, you've got to stay in the village.
Does this happen every year?
No.
No,
Very first one?
Yeah,
Right.
it's a bit of a coup to get it.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
Oh, right.
So you should be grateful.
Any coming from
You
any
can get into attractions like the racecourse, of course.
Yes, we're meant to be building scarecrows over this weekend, so our straw is in the middle of the blocked out zone out there, so we're going to have to stay overnight to be able to do but never mind.
Give them back under the hedge.
Right.
Thank you.
Moving on to
Obviously,
PC Volta's not here tonight.
we haven't looked at anything except that they've sent me now the new numbers for PC Josie Shepherd as well as PC Volta. So if anybody wants those, I can send them to them.
These are the new telephone numbers.
Yes.
HM Prison Dovegate report. That was cordially attended.
You mean you were the only one who went?
No.
No, I went as well.
No, you went.
And PC Volta went and section. There were two policemen there anyway.
Any more escapes?
Well, needless to say, that was top of the agenda on what we asked.
Whilst you were there.
No.
Didn't walk out with you.
The upshot of it is they think it was a planned escape because he cut his hair and he built his body up to look very similar to his brother. And what he said is that his brother walked in, and both of them walked out. He didn't go into detail as to why two people walked out when he was only walked in.
Because they can't count.
He didn't say.
Didn't count to the road.
Well, he didn't, but he did say it was 3.5 hours before they realised that he'd escaped. So that was a long time. He's on CCTV getting into his brother's car in the car park. But one thing that I did find not amusing, but was quite amusing, the man who was in the prison, he did say his name, but I forgot and didn't write it down, was in for 2.5 years. His brother, for aiding and abetting an escaped prisoner, is going to get 5 years. So his brother,
worse.
Yes, exactly.
Get out the reverse bit later on then.
Yeah, so he was hugely apologetic. To the point where he couldn't go into great details on how everything didn't work or did work and what happened, because there's a government report, there's an internal report, there's a circular report, and he couldn't comment till any of those are done. And I know Draycott, who were at the meeting, have instigated. Is it yourself as well, Stephen?
Sorry?
For the prison, is it you attending the...
On the 16th?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going there.
Yeah. Because we had a meeting a week ago.
Yes, yeah.
But as I say, he was saying that all these reports are going through and he wouldn't say anything more, couldn't say any more, until they had all sorted himself out.
Yes, I don't know any more than you,
Yeah,
you know.
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very honest and open, but just said, look, there's these all reports.
Yeah.
I mean, whether he's going to lose his job there for somebody escaping out of a category 2 prison, I don't know. But
Did he imply that they might increase staffing levels, to monitor prisons any greater?
no, I think it was to the opposite, wasn't it? He was saying how well the prison act has come from quite a low, and it was well, hard or whatever the percentage was of people throwing drugs over the walls, which is a major problem.
And telephones?
Yeah, well, no, they've all got mobile phones now, and he said,
Oh, has it?
yeah, he said that's the best thing they ever did. that's reduced the violence in the prison. So the prison was, as he described it, was getting better and better. And so this is like a huge blow to him to have this problem.
Yeah, maybe it's personal fault either, there's a breakdown in communication somewhere.
Well, it seemed to be sort of like a series of failings. It wasn't just one thing that went
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah,
It
right.
was a series of failings that
Yeah.
led to the breakout in the first place. And so now they're sort of reviewing everything. So, I mean, presumably staffing will be under this review anyway if they're doing promotion.
Right,
So,
yeah.
but
That's a
The time the prison was open,
Oh,
when
yeah.
physically, it was said that any escape, well, they have